Now trust me, the title is not clickbait at all, because just recently Google released literally some of their biggest updates they have yet ever kind of came up with, which is going to basically change the entire game when it comes to e-commerce and when it comes to actually using Google Ads for your Shopify store. And in this video, I'm not only going to be going over those exact updates, but I'll also be telling you exactly how you can adapt your strategy for your e-commerce brand so that you continue to find tons of success with Google Ads. But exactly what am I even talking about? Now, for those of you that do follow Google Ads news in some way, shape, or form, or if you just go on your Google Ads dashboard at the very top, just a few days ago, there was a big notice in very bold text which talked about something called the Google Live Keynote of 2022. And this Google Live Keynote was very special simply because since whatever happened in terms of the health condition, this was literally the first time Google was actually coming together, creating an actual in-person event for a lot of people. But this event was also one of a kind because a lot of the big heads which determine how ads function, what kind of innovations should be done with ads, were there speaking at this event. And this Google Ads Live Keynote 2022 brought about a huge surge of different changes, ranging from different campaign types to new ways of actually split testing between Performance Max and shopping campaigns, and much more. But let's start off with the basics. Exactly what happened during this Google Ads Keynote Live 2022 event, and why should you even care about this? First things first, as I already mentioned, this event consisted of a lot of smart people coming together to talk about how ads can be innovated further, how they can be made better and smarter for Google Ads users like you and me. And by the way, all these things that they come up with, all of these new updates they're constantly bringing about, it's determined on two different factors. Number one factor, the Google Ads algorithm, and exactly what kind of data the algorithm feeds back to their system, which then they use to come up with these updates. But also number two, the overall users and their experience using the platform, because unfortunately you might be thinking that we as advertisers are very important in Google's eyes, but sadly that is not essentially true. And that is simply because for Google, there is another audience that is more important than us, and that is the users themselves, which use Google to search, which use Google to purchase, etc. We are sort of the last in line, but Google decides what kind of updates to do, what kind of changes to make, also based on the interactions they get with these people, and also based on how they can make the user's life easy. And that is very important for you to understand as well, because in 2022 and onwards, if you want to continue finding success with your Shopify store, with your e-commerce brand, you need to find ways to make their users' life easier, meaning the people that use Google to search, to shop, etc. You need to find ways to make their life easy. And Google brought about all of these changes in hopes of helping us advertisers achieve that goal. Now let's start off with the first kind of update which they did. And here, as you can see on my screen, that first update directly has to do with video section of Google Ads and YouTube. And in this case, you have now the ability to start advertising on YouTube Shorts. Now, for those of you that don't know what YouTube Shorts are, those videos that I have on my YouTube channel where they're only 60 seconds long, just with me holding my phone talking about a specific topic. Those are called YouTube Shorts. And previously, you did not have the ability to advertise anything on YouTube Shorts, but now in 2022, as it says right over here, you now have the ability to connect different people, i.e. your audience, with YouTube Shorts with something called the video action and app campaigns. Now you can kind of disregard the app campaign section because you're not really running apps. If you're watching this video, you're more of the e-commerce store. But essentially what's going to happen starting today is that globally, meaning in USA, in Canada, Australia, basically all around the world where Google Ads is used, you now have the ability to list your products via YouTube Shorts and get those ads in front of people via this platform. In addition, later this year, this means this has not already happened, your product feeds can directly be connected to these YouTube Short campaigns, which will make it much easier for your audience to now shop via YouTube Shorts. Pretty crazy, but as you can see right here with this video playing, you can see the products that are coming up on the bottom. This is essentially what the product feeds getting approved for YouTube Shorts would do. And this is extremely powerful because now what Google has done is it has given you the ability to expand onto another type of placement essentially, and kind of make your way into this placement before anybody else does. Because you probably already know just how saturated Google shopping ads are, just how saturated Google search ads, and for that matter, YouTube ads and just other advertising platforms. So because now Google is giving you the ability to get into this placement, you should definitely be thinking about taking advantage of this and already looking into making video ads in these dimensions so that you can start advertising on YouTube Shorts, simply because people aren't really accustomed to this. So because you are the first one to essentially do it, you will have much better success, and you can kind of make this your blue ocean. Now, for those of you that don't know what a blue ocean is basically a completely new way of doing something where there's not a lot of competitors. So this is the best way to get into the YouTube game if you were thinking about doing YouTube ads via Google, and this should definitely kind of push you to doing that. But let's move on to the next big update Google Ads has done, which is this bottom section right over here, which is talking about showcasing your ads through the Discover network with video ads specifically. So as you can see right here, what it says is Discover is where people scroll through their favorite personalized content for ideas and inspiration. So you will have now the ability to bring short video assets to Google's feed directly, and you can get more brand engagement with this placement essentially. And as you can see right here with this specific image playing, Google's Discover network is that plays on the Google homepage where you go directly when you open a new tab or when you're on your phone. And as you can see, this is where you get to search for something, but the bottom section right here is the Discover network, is where you will get to showcase your ads via this platform and via this placement. So this is very, very useful again if you want to get more brand awareness. If you're just focused solely on getting purchases and all you care about is profits, this might not really be ideal for you, because again, in this section, people are more just in the research phase. They're looking for blog posts, tips and tricks, maybe some kinds of videos on how-tos, etc. And this is where you kind of lead them down the funnel and then not only get brand awareness, but also later on get those sales. So if your main goal is to get sales right now, this might not really be the ideal scenario for you. But that is another update Google has just rolled out. Moving on to our third update, and this is your ability to now actually start connecting to the audiences on TV. That's right, you heard it, TV. Absolutely insane, and it kind of blew my mind, because as you can see right here, it says Display and Video 360 will soon help advertisers worldwide use connected TV campaigns to reach affinity, in-market, and demographic audiences across YouTube and most other ad-supported connected TV apps. So this essentially means that your products can actually end up on certain TV softwares and placements if the specific YouTube placement that you are doing has some sort of connection to that given software or placement. As you can see right here, it needs to be supported within that TV app directly. And in addition, you can use that specific audience that uses that certain placement or software on TV to then target with your Google Ads campaigns. Absolutely insane, because now adding TV audiences can actually just take your reach to the next level. But again, the amount of conversion rate and amount of conversion value you might actually end up getting from these TV placements is sort of in the gray area, because again, I don't know too many people that actually end up calling those TV advertisements or actually taking some kind of action via those TV placements. But again, a lot of people do it. E-commerce brands literally spend thousands and thousands of dollars trying to get their ads on TV. So if that actually does end up working, and again, you might want to do a bit of research to figure out if this is the right way for you to go, then this could be an absolutely new way for you to enter the market and literally increase your impression share, increase your brand awareness by tenfold overnight. So this is something that you should be looking into if what your main goal is to increase brand awareness, increase the amount of people looking for your products, etc. But we're not done yet. We're now just getting into the juicy parts of these updates. The next biggest update that Google Ads has actually implemented is your ability to split test with your shopping campaigns, with their Performance Max campaigns, etc. Now, I get it, Performance Max have been the big talk of the town, but a lot of people, especially my followers that also message me on Instagram, which if you haven't already followed me on Instagram, be sure to follow me. It's @DedicatedYoung to stay up to date with what I do. But these people have not really found too great results with Performance Max. But what I have seen is that Performance Max have been starting to crush it for those people with a lot of data. Now I get it, if you're kind of on the brand new side, or you just started using Google Ads, you were on Facebook, you were scaling to the moon with Facebook, TikTok, etc. You might really not have enough data to start using Performance Max, or you already have enough data but you just don't want to use Performance Max. Well, that's gonna suck, because soon you have no choice but to switch over to Performance Max. But what I like about Google Ads is that now they have given you the ability to kind of split split test between Performance Max and a standard shopping campaign, or even a smart shopping campaign, as you see in this image right over here. And if we try to kind of zoom in, we can see it says this section right here within your Performance Max campaign directly will give you the ability within the lab section to sort of start an experiment, which is kind of like an A/B test, where you can do something called test uplift from Performance Max and also test versus shopping campaigns. It's very useful, something I highly recommend you look into, especially now that you need to start getting ready for Performance Max. I know this is what we'll be doing for majority of my e-commerce clients under my agency Euro Marketing, which if you're doing $30,000 or more in sales per month and you want to kind of take your brand to the next level, but you need some help doing that, go on to my website at euromarketing.com and book a free call with my team to see how I can personally help you scale your e-commerce brand with Google Ads by implementing Performance Max, by doing the split test, etc. Again, euromarketing.com. But this split testing ability Google has kind of provided is going to change the game, simply because now you can directly see whether Performance Max is working for your account or not. And if you kind of do it right now, you will know the best steps you can take in order to prepare for Performance Max in the future, because like I said earlier, pretty soon you will have no other option. So might as well just kind of test around different things, see what is working, see what is not working, and see why it is not working, so that you can kind of go ahead and fix those things. But definitely a good update by Google. I really do suggest that e-commerce store owners use this for their Google Ads account. But we're not done there yet, because you just using Performance Max is not enough if you don't know if the Performance Max really is giving you better results or not, or if your shopping campaigns, or for that matter any other campaign, is getting you better results or not. And this is where Google's new attribution update and new analytics update is coming into play. So as it says right here for number 4, it says new insights and explanations, including attribution, audience, and auction insights, so you know what's driving performance, rolling out worldwide throughout the year. Essentially, to put it in simple terms, what it means is that Google is making their reporting much fancier, much smarter, for you to understand what is working, what is not working, etc., and then take the appropriate decisions. But here's the caveat. We all know that Google has been pushing more smart shopping, more Performance Max recently, because they want to take control out of the advertiser's hand more and put it in the algorithm's hand more. And unfortunately, due to these vague words about attribution and analytics, it might be more suited for the algorithm, meaning these analytics and attributions could help the algorithm directly understand more about what's going on with the campaign, so it can perform better, which is of course a good thing. But that also means that there might be a lot of important information which we advertisers might not really be getting our hands onto, or we might just not be aware about because of the very vague wording or just over complex nature of the attribution of the analytics, etc. So this update, I'm not too sure about whether it's going to be beneficial for us or for Google Ads directly, because again, Google's main task recently seems to have been just getting more and more control out of the advertiser's hand. So this is something you want to kind of be paying attention to. Now, what does this mean exactly for you as an e-commerce store owner and as for a Google Ads advertiser? This means you need to become smarter about knowing how Google works, what the algorithm does, what the algorithm doesn't, how the algorithm actually performs in the back end, and all of the data and all sorts of the nitty-gritty stuff. I know it's very difficult to handle this stuff, especially if you're already running an e-commerce store and dealing with a bunch of other things. That's why my Google Ads agency, Euro Marketing, comes in. But if you want to still kind of do ads yourself, then it's important for you to understand how these things work, because pretty soon you will have very limited look into how the campaigns are performing, how the metrics are going, etc. So you want to now get prepared for this by just taking time to learn how everything is going on in the back end. But now this brings me to the final big update, which I personally believe Google Ads has implemented, and that is their update for the new Google tag, which is mentioned right over here. So basically what Google is wanting to do is Google is wanting to simplify the overall tag management, because Google, and I'm happy about this by the way, is starting to understand that implementing these conversion tracking codes, getting all of the data properly set up, is a bit of a hassle. Because I'm gonna be honest, about 99% of the e-commerce store owners I talk to, which come to me for help under my agency Euro Marketing, their main issue is not having the conversion tracking codes properly set up. So Google is kind of understanding this. It's simplifying the entire process, and what it's doing is now you don't have to install different tags for Google Analytics, for Google Ads, etc. All of these things can be done with just one simple tag, and there will be no additional code required to combine any other tags, put Google Analytics in one place, put Google Ads conversion tracking codes in one place, etc. Now, it's just going to be one single tag which takes care of all of these things, which is a very helpful thing, and it's about time Google actually does this, because again, this is one of the most important things you want to have right before you start running ads. But unfortunately, a lot of people disregard this. They end up spending way too much money, and then they figure out all of their data is actually messed up. And so again, this kind of leads to the point of simplicity, because Google, with all of these changes, is trying to achieve simplicity. What does this mean for you as an e-commerce store owner or a Google Ads advertiser? What that means is simple works best in terms of advertising strategy, in terms of the products, etc. Whatever you want to do, keep this motto in mind. Simple works best. That means don't try to have too many different Google Ads strategies. I have literally what works for me right now on my YouTube channel, all for free, which you can watch also in my Google Ads Mastery course, which is gadsmastery.com. But have simple strategies, maybe a winners and a losers smart shopping campaign, or just one performance max campaign with a few search campaigns, and have basic, simple search engine optimization techniques. Keep everything as simple as possible, because based off of all of these updates, what I'm getting from this is that Google from now on in 2022 and onwards is going to reward those Google Ads advertisers which keep things simple, which don't overcomplicate it with a lot of different bidding strategies, a bunch of different campaigns where two campaigns or one campaign could literally do the same exact job, and it's just using too many data resources, and also just a wide variety of different things on the product pages, etc. So keep things simple in 2022 to find the best possible results. But these Google Ads updates are extremely insane, and it's up to you as to whether you end up doing the necessary things to make these updates positive for your brand or negative for your brand. But again, if you're doing $30,000 or more in sales and you want to take your brand to the next level, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com, book a free call with me, and let's work together to scale your brand. But if you found any type of value in this video, destroy the like button and destroy that subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video.